We're now going to look at general problems where a quantity is increasing or decreasing every year by a percentage. So we treat these like compound interest questions where you have to do a calculation for every year. So it says a car is bought for £7,000 and it depreciates in value by 15% each year. Find the value of the car after 3 years. Depreciates is a fancy word for decreases in value by 15% each year. So we treat this as if it's a compound interest type question. So we're going to start with year 1. And at the beginning of year 1, the quantity you have is always worth 100%. So 100% here is equal to the original cost of the car, £7,000. So we're going to work out what the cost of the car is at the end of year 1. Now, it decreases in value by 15%. So if its value was worth 100% at the beginning of the year, then at the end of the year, its value is worth 85% because it's decreased by 15%. So we want to work out what 85% is. So again, we're going to divide both sides by 100 to get 1%. So 1% here is going to be £70. And then to get from 1% to 85%, we're going to multiply both sides by 85. So again, 70 multiplied by 85 is going to give us 5,950. So we've just worked out the value of the car at the end of year 1. So year 1 is over and year 2 now begins. So year 2, what we have originally is always 100%. It's a brand new calculation. You ignore the percentages that have gone before. All you're interested in is the value. You're only carrying over the value. So year 2, we start with 100%, but the starting value is now 5,950. So the same thing happens in year 2. The car is going to go down in value by 15%. So if it was worth 100% at the beginning of year 2, it's only going to be worth 85% at the end. So again, we've got to work out 1% by dividing both sides by 100. So 1% is going to give us £59.50. And then again, we've got to multiply both sides by 85 in order to get what 85% is. So go to our calculator, £59.50 multiplied by 85, and that's going to give us 5,057 pounds and 50 pence. So you can see that the value is continually falling, which makes sense because it's decreasing. Okay, so we've one more year to go. So we're carrying over the cost into year 3. And every year is a new calculation, and you start every new calculation with 100%, but it's just equal to a different value. So the current cost is £5,057.50. So like the previous years, the cost of the car goes down by 6%. So if it was worth 100% at the beginning, it's only going to be worth, sorry, not 6%, 15%. It was worth 100% at the beginning. It's now going to be worth 85% at the end of that year. So we have to work out 85% again. So we're going to divide both sides by 100. That will get us 1%. So 1% is going to be worth £50, or 50.5750. Don't worry about the fact it doesn't make sense because we're not finished. And then we're going to multiply both sides by 85. So go back to calculator, 50.5750 multiplied by 85, and that's going to give us 4,298 pounds and 0.875. Again, you can see again that the cost is continually falling. So that's the value of the car at the end of year 3. Okay. So all I'm going to do now is just round the final answer because we were asked to find the value of the car at the end of year 3. So I'm going to round it to the nearest penny. So I'm going to go to the second decimal place and then look at the digit after. Digit after is 5 or more, so we're going to round up by 1. So our final answer is going to be £4,298 and 88 pence. That's what the car is worth at the end of year 3. So we're now talking about general problems where a quantity is increasing or decreasing by a percentage each year. You treat it in a similar way as you would treat compound interest questions. In other words, you have to do a calculation for every single year. Another word called appreciates, if something appreciates in value, that means it increases in value. So you could have a situation where you have a house that's appreciating in value each year. The method would be exactly the same, except the value each year would be getting bigger, so the final percentage would be greater than 100% in that case.